Well, in just one day of fans watching this, the audience score dropped from 46% to 31%. Now, they can't go around and go, oh, these are just people review bombing it before the show even comes out, which is what I saw on X prior to this. It seems like everybody watched it and everybody hated it. I have not seen one person who's like, this is fantastic. Even like the people on the left who are still like friends of mine, very few of them, are like, this is just a boring show. I'm rooting against the Jedi here because they're just so stuffy and boring. And maybe that's the whole point. Maybe what they wanted to do is subvert that with all these people because, you know, you got to subvert morality. That's what Disney Plus and Disney Star Wars is all about. It's about putting a chick in it and making it lame and gay under Kathleen Kennedy. It's about Leslie Headland pushing her lover into one of the roles, even though she can't act. This is nepotism and degeneracy at its finest. And this is the Acolyte. Now, the critics are still going, yes, slay queen, as you can see at the 93%. But if you click and go to the top critics, they're starting to get in line with more of the audience scores. So the people that people trust are at least being a little more honest about it on average, but we still have the Access Media problems. Now, that's not even what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the star of the Acolyte being absolutely racist. That's what we have. And there's no other word for it other than racist. And we have to call this out. Racism is bad. That's what I've been told. It's the most heinous thing possible. And this lady is absolutely racist. There's no other ifs, ands, or buts about it. We'll get into that in just a moment. If you want an alternative to Star Wars, I'm John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling science fiction author. This is my Justified Saga of the Nano Templar series. And I've got a full trilogy of just action-packed laser sword action crusading in space, which is badass. And these Nano Templars are way cooler than the Jedi. I got to tell you that. So grab this. It's in the description below. It's on print, audio, and an ebook for you. And of course, there's 2 sequels you can enjoy also for your weekend. Thanks so much for being here and supporting the channel. And please hit the like and subscribe button. It means a lot to me to have you here as part of the community of real science fiction lovers, people who actually care about the craft and not about this like race baiting crap that they're trying to push today. And here's the story from That Park Place. John Trent, great author. Flashback, Star Wars The Acolyte actress Amanda Sternberg declares white people crying actually was the goal while promoting The Hate U Give. Now, The Hate U Give was a YA novel, which was all just about some race-baiting nonsense. It was promoted very, very heavily in the publishing industry several years ago, and I was watching it as it ascended. It definitely was not a organic thing. It was pushed very heavily by the media, very heavily by New York publishing, and it was an anti-white messaging. It really was. And so, of course, they made a film about it like right away. And of course, guess who is in it? And it's our favorite actress of the Acolyte. So she literally came from a race-baiting background. That's what she got her job for. That's why she's here. She's here to push that agenda. And I've seen... I didn't even realize this, but they say also she's come out as non-binary. Well, that's the new Stunning and Brave thing, that you can come out as, quote, non-binary, and that means absolutely nothing. You don't have to, get your little transgender top surgery and mutilate yourself if you're non-binary. It doesn't mean anything. And so they love these virtue signals that don't mean anything. I can virtue signal pronouns, and yet I don't actually have to do anything. And then I get to be stunning and brave and never get fired. So now she's got 2 protections. So she can't be fired from anything because she's black. She can't be fired from anything because she's non-binary. What a great career. And it's not about the acting, of course. It never is. Never about the actual quality of what's going on or the quality of stardom. It's really sick what they're doing all the way around. But when you get into what she actually was doing promoting this show, you can see just how cynical it is, and I'll get into that here. So this was what she gave for her interview back in the day. Absolutely, again, there's no other word for it other than racist. This DEI stuff, this diversity crap, isn't diverse at all. It is just anti-white racism, and I'm calling it like it is. A lot of YouTube channels won't do it because they just want to tiptoe around these kind of subjects, and I get it because we can get in trouble just for telling the truth, for noticing. But I call it like it is here. During an appearance on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah in 2018, while she was promoting her film The Hate You Give, Noah asked Stenberg, when people watch The Hate You Give, what do you want them to walk away with? Because I know everyone has a slightly different feeling. Oh, what a easy question, but she can't help it. The mask comes off, as it always does. These people are evil, and they're hateful people. They're bigots. Everything they project, and it is, that the SJWs, they always project. All of their little nonsense, they always say it's always a projection of their own internal feelings, and you got to remember that when you're dealing with them, because they're not actually, there for any kind of like real debate or anything like that. And here's what she says. I mean, white people crying was actually the goal. And then they both burst into laughter, like this cynical, ha 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 ha, F you white people, ha 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 ha, laughter. And this is on like, this is a big nationally televised show. They're doing it. Can you imagine if this was if this was like Jay Leno and he was interviewing Hayden Christensen back in like, when Attack of the Clones came out. And Hayden Christensen made him another movie, and he goes, yeah, well, black people crying was actually the goal. Well, if that happened, Hayden Christensen, he'd be in jail. I mean, let's be honest, he would never work again for sure in Hollywood, and he'd be in jail. And when they do this, though, white people crying is the goal. They're like celebrated. They actually like are like, hey, this is a great thing, and the media just like eats it up like she's some kind of darling. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. This is sinister. It's evil. It's racist. It's obvious. And this is it. Earlier in the film, when discussing the film, early in the interview, rather, she said, it's based on this book by Angie Thomas, which is incredible. I highly suggest you read it if you haven't. It's supposed to be a tool of empathy. So oftentimes we see these events portrayed on the news and the media, but usually they're misconstrued, or at least postulated so that they don't fully humanize the people of color who are killed and affected by these events. Oh, yes. They always leave out, too, that, like, if you look at, like, crime statistics and how things go, of course, 13% of the population of the black people commit over 50% of the crimes. We're not supposed to notice that. And almost all of those crimes are black-on-black crimes, too. So the people of color are just going at themselves. And, nobody has the will to stop it in this country. It's very sad. So that's what this is supposed to be a tool to do. It's supposed to be grounded in a personal narrative, and hopefully people have a sense of empathy because of that. So far, it's been really successful. We have a lot of white people crying, which is great. And that's it. Their goal is to make white people feel guilt about themselves for being white every single time. Even though you don't have anything to do with these crimes, even though you're not racist, you probably are quite the opposite. You probably have been conditioned by society, like usual, to prioritize somebody who's black and be like, yes, and give them the benefit of the doubt more than you'd give somebody else of another race the benefit of the doubt, because that's how you've been conditioned for decades. And it's quite the opposite. When you go into these sort of Hollywood eras, they hate white people. We saw this with Doctor Who as well. Like the entire last episode of Doctor Who was a narrative about white people being bad and stupid, and how the blacks really could save them. It was really, really cynical. And this is what we're going to get out of Star Wars as well. If you look at the Acolyte, the first couple of episodes, every Jedi out there is not a white male intentionally. It's the one white male. I guess spoilers if you care. Was like this guy who sat there, and while he was one of the victims of the evil twin or whatever, and he like self-deleted. And that I guess that's it. Like that's the only white male in this. The others are all minorities who are wonderful, better people, better the Jedi than Anakin ever was, better Jedi than Luke ever was. They're just Mary Sue's, all of them, and that's the message. I've never seen so many white people crying before. It's amazing, she added. Well, maybe that's what's going to happen with the Acolyte too. But I think it's going to be the white people of Leslie Headland and Kathleen Kennedy crying once the ratings are so low for this garbage that it just sinks the brand. Star Wars is completely over. People are tuning out, and it's something because of this disgusting race baiting that goes on over and over again. They hate you. They want white people away, and so don't watch it. I mean, that's the message. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to check out my Justified Saga of the Nano Templar in the description below. We'll be back soon.